Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is the 11th day of March, and we're going to give to you the life givers of the desert, Oases throughout the world.
好，我们的中文标题是隐藏在沙漠中的生命之泉绿洲，好，就是 Oasis， 就是绿洲的意思。好，那英文标题里面那个 life givers 就是给予生命的人，因为人是生命都需要水的，好，所以它这个绿洲是给予生命的人。
Okay, I'll read through the article as we always do for these readings, and then we will go back, reread it, sentence by sentence, and explain it. Them. Deserts are dry, desolate places, with some exceptions. Oases. An oasis is created by an underground water source known as an aquifer. Oases may develop from a water supply such as a natural spring that bubbles up, or it could be the result of man-made wells that force the water to the surface. Some of these wells are ancient and have been well protected over the years because they are so valuable to the existence of crops and other vegetation. Strong palm trees are commonly planted around oases to protect them from sandstorms that could seriously damage them. Since deserts span vast distances, they have some of the world's largest supplies of underground water, and the biggest desert of all, the Sahara in Africa, is home to about 90 major oases. Outside of Africa, one significant oasis in Saudi Arabia is Al-Khatif, which is situated along the Persian Gulf. Thanks to a big irrigation project completed in 1964, Al-Khatif has become a major agricultural area. Dates, rice, fruits, vegetables, and other crops are grown there. Meanwhile, Al-Asa Oasis, a UNESCO World Heritage Site containing more than 2.5 million palm trees, is also in Saudi Arabia. Stretching about 85 square kilometers, it was recognized by Guinness World Records as the world's largest self-contained oasis in October 2020. There are oases outside of Africa and the Middle East as well. One oasis outside of the region is Huacachina in southern Peru. Formed by a natural current of underground water, Wakacina is said to be the only natural oasis in South America. The oasis supports a small resort town of 96 residents. The site is a picturesque lagoon ringed by barren desert. Unfortunately, though, while it has been declared a national cultural site, landowners who have built wells there have reduced the water levels of the lagoon.
Okay, so deserts are dry, desolate places. If you're desolate, it's not just that there's no life around you. You're also really sad about how there's no life around you. So you can feel desolate, or you can be in a desolate place. So deserts are desolate places for people, not for the animals that live there, by the way. But there are some exceptions. And the exception to the rule of deserts being bad for people are oases.
OK, 我们看到这个句子，他说呢 ，deserts 就是沙漠，它是 dry 很干燥的 ，desolate 就是这个荒凉的啊 ，desolate 这个字啊，它的字根很好玩，那个 S-O-L 就是 S-O-L-E 就是 alone 的意思啊，那个 D 是加强语气的 completely， 所以 desolate 就是 completely alone 啊，什么都没有，你在那边就是一个人。好，没有人住啊，好，然后这个鸟不生蛋的地方，好，所以荒凉的，所以沙漠是干燥荒凉的地方，但是呢 with 它有一些 exceptions， 有一些例外，什么例外呢？就是绿洲。
An oasis is created by an underground water source known as an aquifer. Now notice the last word in the last sentence was oases In this sentence, we have oasis. Oasis. The is is the singular form and the es is the plural form. So how do we find or get oases? They're created by an underground water source known as an aquifer. So the source, we will describe some of the sources in a moment, but the water underground is a supply of water, not just a little bit, and then it is called an aquifer. Aqua, A-Q-U-A, means water in Latin.
然后那个 fer 那个 F-E-R 呢，它就是 bring 或者 carry 的意思。好，所以它这个地方就 bring water 或者 carry water 的意思。
Ferry.
Yeah, ferry. 还有其实这个 fer 很好玩 prefer 我比较喜欢。为什么 pre 是 before？ 所以因为我比较喜欢，所以我会先带走。Yeah， 它这个所以那另外例如说 differ 好 different 那个 differ 那个 di 是 away from 所以不一样，所以会带开来different 好，所以这个字嘛还有 suffer 为什么呢？因为 suffer S-U-B 是 under 把你带到底下来踩着你你很不舒服suffer 好，所以都是一样。还有 transfer transfer across carry across 就是转移的意思所以这个 fer 也是一个很重要的字根那我们看到这个地方讲说这个沙漠呢不是沙漠，这个绿洲 is created， 它是由什么所创造出来的？它是有一个 underground water source， 一个地底下的水源water source。那这个地底下的这个水源呢，我们称之为aquifer， 就是含水层这个水井泉水的来源。
I learn more English with him than I don't know when else in my life I've learned so much English.
He's my go-to English expert.
Thank you.
That's why I'm always bothering him with questions online. Now, oases, these plural places, may develop from a water supply, such as a natural spring that bubbles up. A natural spring is water that comes to the surface on its own, and we like to talk about coming to the surface as bubbling up. You can imagine bubbles rising through water, or water rising through the earth. Or the oasis could be the result of man-made wells that force the water to the surface, so we can create our own oases.
所以这个绿洲呢，它可能会有什么发展出来呢？ Develop from 从一个A water supply 有一个水源发展出来，那例如说什么样的水源呢？可能是一个 a natural spring 就是一个自然的一个温泉或者涌泉那这个是自然的涌泉，它是 bubbles up 就是升到表面这个好像泡泡一样冒出来那种感觉。这个 bubbles up 它也可以表示盖不住了所以例如说你可以说 the fury bubbling up inside her.
Oh, yeah.
她内心有一股很不爽的那个 fury 然后慢慢盖不住了，升到表面来了。然后呢，所以这是一个办法。另外一个可能是 it could be， 它可能是个 the result of 就是什么什么的结果，是什么的结果呢？是人造井的结果man-made wells。那这个人造井呢，它会 force the water， 它会把水逼到或者是把它这个压出来到表面上来 ，force the water to the surface。Some
of these wells are ancient, very, very old, and have been well protected over the years because they are so valuable. That makes sense. We protect our valuables, and they are so valuable to the existence of crops and other vegetation, not only for drinking water, which of course is essential, it's necessary, but you can grow food so long as you have a water supply.
好，所以这个水井呢这些 wells 它们是 ancient 很古老，而且呢 have been well protected， 它们被这个好好的被保护住protected， 这个 protect 是 cover 的意思，字根的意思是 cover， 那 pro 就是 in front of 或者是 before， 所以你在前面把它盖住了就是保护住了。那我们之前讲温度计的时候呢，讲到 detect 这个字，那个 D 是 away 的意思，所以 detect 就是把它的 cover 拿掉，就是我侦测到你了，你没有东西盖住了，我看到你的那种感觉。好，所以这两个字可以一起背。所以呢 well protected 被受到很好的保护 over the years， 多年来他们受到很好的保护，因为他们非常的 valuable， 非常有价值。对什么来讲有价值呢？ valuable to 就是对什么有价值，用介系词 to。对于 existence 生存或者存在 of crops， 对于农作物的生存或者农作物的存在，还有其他的 vegetation 植物的存在是非常 有价值的。好，那这个 vegetation 有人把它翻成植被，或者不知道是不是应该被念植批哈。不过它的意思基本上英文就是它就是指 plants， 而且是 considered collectively， 就是在一个地区你所发现的植物的总称叫做 vegetation。所以各位发现它没有加 s， 因为它是总称。
Strong palm trees are commonly planted around oases, and the reason is to protect them from the sandstorms that could seriously damage them, because sandstorms can just bury things right up and just basically wash them away with sand rather than water. So you need something to protect the wells, and palm trees are used for this.
好，所以 strong 在这里就是 sturdy 哈 ，S-T-U-R-D-Y 就是坚固的哈，很强健的 palm trees 棕榈树啊 ，are commonly 就是 very often 或者 frequently 常常会种这个棕榈树 planted 棕榈树常常被种在 around 啊，就在这个 around 就围着这些绿洲附近啊，常常会种的棕榈树来 protect them 来保护他们 from。以免受什么危害呢 ？Protect someone from something， 那个 from 就是以免受什么危害，所以棕榈树可以保护这个绿洲，以免受到 sandstorms， 就是这个沙尘暴的危害。那这个沙尘暴 that 就是指这些沙尘暴，它could 就有可能会 seriously damage， 可能会严重的破坏 them， 就是指这些绿洲。
All right, our next paragraph begins with this long sentence.Since deserts span vast distances, they have some of the world's largest supplies of underground water. And the biggest desert of all, the Sahara in Africa, is home to about 90 major oases. Well, the Sahara is almost as big as China or the United States. It is huge.And it spans, we choose the verb span here, which really means to reach from to vast distances. It's something like 3,000 miles or 5,000 kilometers in length and 1,000 or 2,000 kilometers in height. They have some of the world's largest supplies of underground water.Well, that sounds strange. Deserts are supposed to be dry, so where does all this water come from?
The Sahara used to be a forest, too.
That's right.
The Sahara is a man-made situation.
And the biggest desert of all, we've just been talking about it, the Sahara in Africa, is home to about 90 major oases. We could also say here it has some 90 major oases, so there may be dozens or even hundreds of small ones, but a major one probably supports a town or even more.
好，所以 since 是因为由于沙漠它 span S-P-A-N 呢，它就是 extend across 横跨的意思。沙漠会横跨 vast 就是巨大的 immense 哈 I-M-M-E-N-S-E immense 哈。distance 距离，所以沙漠它横跨很长的距离啊，所以因为这样子呢，所以他们有 some of the world's largest supplies of underground water supply 的供应，所以沙漠因为占地非常的广，所以他们有一些世界上最大的一些地下水的一些供应，也就是说它其实沙漠底下有很多很多的地下水哈，是非常大的一个水源啊。那刚刚这个其实我们也Angel 还是有提到，这个 Sahara 本来其实也是它是一个上面是有植物的哈，甚至于可能是个 forest 啊，那只是后来因为各种变化啊，所以它现在变成沙漠了。好，然后他说这个最大的一个沙漠，世界上最大的一个沙漠啊，就是非洲的撒哈拉沙漠呢 is home to， 其实翻跟中文有差不多的意思啊，就是 is home to， 这个 home 就是 a place where something is most typically found， 或者 a place where something exists in large quantity 或者是 large amount 哈，所以这个就是很多的意思。所以那里撒哈拉呢有什么呢？有大概90个主要的或者是很大的绿洲。
Now, outside of Africa, one significant oasis in Saudi Arabia is Al-Qatif, which is situated along the Persian Gulf. If something is situated along the Gulf, it means that it is not just a single dot, but it goes on for a little bit of distance.
好，所以呢，这个地方讲到说 outside of Africa， 那在非洲以外呢，有一个 significant， 就是一个重要的一个 noteworthy 或者是 important 的一个绿洲啊， 在沙烏地阿拉伯的一个重要的绿洲呢是什么呀？是卡提夫绿洲。那 which 就是指这个绿洲呢 is situated， 它位于什么呢？ along， 在这边如果是 situated along， 就它的位置是沿着这个地方，所以这个地方就是告诉我们说，这个沙漠呢，它是沿着波斯湾的沿岸所存在的一个绿洲。
Thanks to a big irrigation project, irrigation is where we bring water to dry places, completed in 1964, Al-Khatif has become a major agricultural area. As I said, you cannot grow crops without water, but if you do bring in water, if you irrigate, then why not? You can grow crops.
好 ，thanks to 就是多亏了啊，多亏了一个 big 一个巨大的 irrigation project， 就是一个灌溉的计划。irrigation 就是灌溉。好，所以多亏了有一个重大的灌溉计划。那这灌溉计划怎么样 ？Which was completed in 1964， 好，是1964年所完成的一个很大规模的灌溉计划。多亏了这个计划，好，那这个我们刚刚提到这个卡提夫绿洲呢，它已经成为了一个 has become 一个重要的 major 重要的一个农业区 agricultural area.
So dates, which are very, very important to the Middle East in terms of a food product, rice, fruits, vegetables, and other crops are grown there.
Okay, dates 就是野枣，然后呢水稻 rice， 然后 fruits 水果还有这些蔬菜。还有其他的 crops 就是作物都在那里被种植。
Meanwhile, at the same time, or also, Al-Asa Oasis, a UNESCO World Heritage Site containing more than 2.5 million palm trees. Did they count them?
Probably.
Is also in Saudi Arabia. So here is another major oasis. I can't even imagine how large that would be, 2.5 million palm trees.
If you want to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site, you have to measure everything. Everything. So they do know exactly how many trees there are there.
Wow.
所以要成为联合国教科文组织的一个这个世界遗产的话，什么东西都要经过测量所以他们才知道说那里有大概250万棵的这个棕榈树。好，所以这句话就是说，同时呢这个哈萨绿洲它是一个联合国教科文组织的世界遗产的地点，它包含了超过250万棵的棕榈树，那它也是在沙烏地阿拉伯。
Now, stretching about 85 square kilometers, which is honestly not that big, so those trees are packed tightly, I guess. It was recognized by Guinness World Records as the world's largest self-contained oasis in October 2020. When I say that it's not that big, I mean as a piece of land doing a thing, it's not that big. But for an oasis, it's super huge. We're talking that it's in the middle of the desert, after all.
Yeah, 好，所以呢，这个地方讲到说 stretching 就是蔓延或者延伸extend or spread over an area 有的时候是这个 extend 或者是这个 spread over a period of time 但在这里当然是一个 area， 所以延伸蔓延延伸它大概有85平方公里所以这个85平方公里不是很大的一块地方，但对绿洲来讲是很大了然后 it was recognized， 它被认定被承认这 recognize 在这里不是认出来的意思，它是 acknowledge 的意思acknowledge the validity 或者是 legality of something 你确认的确它就是这样子所以它被认定了被承认了被谁承认呢？被什么认定呢？被吉尼斯世界纪录认定了as 认定它的身份是什么呢？是世界上最大的 self-contained， 就是自给自足的一个沙漠，是在2020年的10月被认定的。好 ，self-contained， 它是我们讲说它自己该有什么它自己都有的意思。这个在 British English 里面self-contained， 如果指建筑的话，就是有自己的厨房，有自己的卫浴可能也有自己的进出口所以，例如说这个 self-contained flat 就是 British English 的这种用法。
Okay, let's look at our final paragraph.There are oases outside of Africa and the Middle East as well. Those two areas we've described so far aren't the only places in the world that have oases.
好 outside of 就是在什么之外，在非洲，在中东之外也有绿洲的。
One oasis outside of the region is Huacachina in southern Peru.
好，那有这么一个绿洲啊，这 outside of the region 啊 ，region 这个地区，那这里 the region 指的就是我们刚刚讲的非洲跟中东啊，所以非洲、中东以外的一个绿洲呢啊，是在秘鲁南方的瓦卡奇纳绿洲。
Formed by a natural current of underground water, Wakacina is said to be the only natural oasis in South America. Wow. South America is not small, and it has only one natural oasis, and it has the one because there's a natural current of underground water. So it's like a river under the oasis.
Yeah, 所以 formed 就是形成，它有什么形成呢？有一个自然的水流啊 ，a natural current 啊，是什么东西自然的水流呢？其实是一个 underground water， 是地下水的一个自然的水流所形成的。好，那这个瓦卡奇纳绿洲呢 ，is said to be， 据说是叫做 is said to be， 它据说是南美洲唯一的自然的绿洲啊，所以南美洲那么大，但是唯一的自然绿洲就是瓦卡奇纳绿洲。
Now, if you look up pictures on Google, it looks like it's very far away from everything, but there's one view which shows you that it's basically right next to sort of a suburban city. So there's that. Anyways, the Oasis supports a small resort town of 96 residents. It is basically a lagoon surrounded by buildings with small pools.
好，所以呢，这个绿洲呢 supports 就是它支持或者支撑一个小小的 resort town， 就是这个度假的小镇啊 ，resort 就是度假的地方 ，a place frequented by people for recreation。所以这个度假小镇呢，其实它只有96个居民啊，所以可能很多人去那边度假，可真正住在那边的人只有96个人。
The site, this Huacachina, is a picturesque, it's a lovely lagoon, ringed by barren desert, means surrounded by.
好，那这个地点呢是个 picturesque， 就是风景如画的哈。英文里面很少有字能够通常对就对到中文的一个字哈，所以在这里呢，英文 picturesque 通常就可以对到中文的风景如画的意思啊，就是 as pretty as a picture 的意思。好，所以风景如画的西湖啊，这是一个风景如画的西湖 ，ringed by ring 这个字呢是 encircle 的意思，围绕的意思啊。E-N-C-I-R-C-L-E， 它是由什么所围绕呢？有一个 barren 就是荒芜的一个 desert 啊 ，barren 就是什么都没有啊，所以就是荒芜的意思。
Unfortunately, though, while it has been declared a national cultural site, it's been protected by the government. Landowners who have built wells there, probably to fill those swimming pools, have reduced the water levels of the lagoon.
Yeah, 很不幸的啊，不过很不幸的 although 虽然它已经被宣布是一个 national cultural site， 是一个国家级的自然文化区啊，但是呢，那里的一些地主啊，他们在那里造井 build wells， 就是造井挖水井，他们因为在那里挖水井造井，使得他们 reduced， 他们已经降低了这个西湖的 water levels 的水位啊，所以这个蛮可惜的。
Well, that's it for today's lesson, but tomorrow we continue talking about oases. So it's a double lesson for you on deserts and lagoons and irrigation and so on. Please join us tomorrow. Until then,
Bye-bye.